you're welcome once again to Awaken Your Creativity. And my name remains Dr. Princess Iyase-Odozi. So this is the second session we're having with our very special guest, Diokpa Odozi of the Odozi of Ikaland. So please join me and let's continue our sessions with him on ethic and ethical issues. So you're welcome once again to Awaken Your Creativity. And this time, we really want to delve a little bit deeper into the area of the conceptual and leading issues in professional ethics in the visual arts. So, putting this session together, we would like to know what exactly, because I know a lot of visual artists out there really have a lot of questions right now, and I will speak for them. What is professional ethics? Let me start from that point.
Well, professional ethics has to do with the standards of morality, the standards of conduct expected of members of a particular profession. We think of readily the medical profession, engineering, artists in this case, and nurses. These are standards which in many cases are reduced to writing. They are formal codes that are put together that are intended to guide the individual professionals in the conduct of their activities, in their relationships with customers, clients, and also to the organization. The purpose is to ensure that the reputation of the organization is maintained. Secondly, that the interests of clients and customers are protected. These are intended to protect the reputation of the body, the organizational, the professional body. Of course, it's expected to have a reputation, and this will determine the extent to which it will succeed. And by reducing certain standards to writing, individual professionals are guided in the conduct of their activities, in the relationships they have with clients, and also their relation to the organization. It's also good to have this professional standard because they will help the professional who conducts his business in a moral, ethical way to gain clients. Many clients are very discriminating and they want to do business with professionals that are dependable, that are trustworthy, that can keep their word. If they say they want to deliver a certain work to a certain standard, within a given time, they will fulfill that. So, in other words, professional ethics which are reduced to codes, that is codes that are put in writing, are intended to protect various stakeholders. Not only the client, not only the professional body, but even the professional himself. These codes are so important that in many instances they are made mandatory in the sense that failure to comply with the requirements there will be faced with certain consequences, ranging from query, suspension of a defaulting person to expulsion. And in some cases, legal consequences. Those are mandatory. But you also have some other codes that may be described as aspirational. These are standards that are set, and the individual professional is expected to adopt them and aspire to reach those standards. But there are no consequences for their violation, in the sense that if they violate those codes, they will be expelled. But I think it's the best interest of organizations, professional groups. They have codes that are not only formal, not only subjected to writing, but also are enforced. Because what is on paper and not enforced remains on paper. And it doesn't help. In fact, it does not make for good order.
Wow, that's a very beautiful word, sir. Like stated, you said the Ethics Center states that ethics aim to answer one very big question, which is how should an artist live? How should I live? And that being ethical is part of what defines us as human beings.
The Hippocratic Code. That's the code that those in medical professionals in profession are required to take when they qualify. Is an example of a code that existed from time immemorial. And doctors, after when they qualify, nurses, are required to take this oath. There's also a general code that goes by the expression, do no harm. And various bodies have adopted this. If you cannot do good, but at least do no harm. And this has many complexities, really, as people do their work, carry out projects, and all that, and relate to various communities. They should ensure that in helping those communities, in working with them, if they cannot do good, even in difficult circumstances, they should at least do no harm. So those are two examples.
Very, very important. So let's briefly highlight the various values and beliefs we must adhere.
Well, what are called core values or foundational values and beliefs. These are universal. You're talking of honesty and integrity. You're talking of accountability. You are talking about respect for the law and respect for the individual. You are talking of social responsibility. These are important, and they are integrated into a number of codes. Leadership is also an important issue. Transparency, accountability, these are foundational, eternal values or beliefs that are expected to guide and inform the conduct of everyone, particularly professionals. And therefore, when organizations set out to write out their codes, values of this nature are integrated into such codes.
Values and beliefs. You've listed all these very beautiful qualities which I think has every human being actually should aspire to achieve. But as a visual artist, the question is being honest or trustworthy, being a good leader, respect for the law and so on. How will that enhance my sales of artwork or being a professional artist? Please, can you highlight it myself?
Let's take the basic one, the most fundamental of all values: honesty and integrity. I don't think even criminals among themselves would not be prepared to deal with people they consider to be honest and lacking integrity because they find that they will be cheated. But when you're talking of professionals, honesty and integrity are foundational. They are so basic. Very few people, clients, in fact, clients will not want to deal with somebody who is known to be untruthful and untrustworthy, a person totally lacking integrity. Integrity is about you saying something and doing it. You give a practical example. A client comes to you and bargains for you to do a piece of work. Let's say portrait, for instance. You agree, you have his portrait, and he says, I want something, the likeness of what we have here. You agree on the price and the time of delivery. Let's say 6 months. After 6 months, the client does not get from you. He reaches out for you, you cannot find it. Eventually he gets you, and you give one excuse or the other. There are legal issues involved in there because you maybe collected part payment and you've not delivered. But even beyond the legal issue, there is a reputation of the artist and also the profession. Depending on how many people in the profession behave that way. The reputation of the individual artist is damaged because he undertakes to do something and does not deliver, does not fulfill. And the reputation of the organization or the profession is damaged because people, even if it's just a few cases, the news will go out that, oh, visual artists are like that.
You've answered my questions.
So it's important, really, and it's important that you not only have these standards of conduct, standards of professional practice and behavior, that you have them reduced to writing because they become now formal codes. And there's some obligation on the part of the individual professional to adopt and comply with the provisions.
Thank you so much. That is vital. So, dear visual artists watching, it applies to every other profession though, but right now I'm addressing visual artists and those who are art lovers and creative people. You should follow these universal foundational attributes to life. Honesty, all the various qualities have been highlighted by our dear special Iyase-Odozi. I'm really very excited about these sessions with him because this is a huge privilege for us all to learn and tap from this wisdom. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And we'll be glad to have you again because the issue of ethical dilemma is very deep. And please, visual artists, follow to understand why we need to respect ourselves and follow the simple values and norms. Because our reputation is at stake if we miss it out. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll be seeing you in the next session.